All right, so we're going to pick up. We're going to do another first round mock draft simulation using the Pro Football Network simulation tool. We had a little fun with some of the trade rumors going around. The most recent one being Carson Wentz moving his way out of Philly, heading over to Indianapolis. I really don't think he's worth the first round pick, but for the sake of the simulation, to have some fun, let's give Philly that 21 pick, and then Philly's probably not going to be content picking 6 now that they clearly need a quarterback, or we're going to say that they do. So they trade 6 and 21 to get 3 from the Dolphins, and so now the Dolphins will have 3 first-round picks. We'll pick for the Eagles, and at the end, let's kind of see if we think that the Eagles are better off doing that, if the Dolphins are better off doing it, just for fun.
Yeah, we feel like there could be a lot of quarterbacks changing teams this offseason, so this is one of the more interesting scenarios. So I think with the trade and how the draft is playing out right now, it looks like we have several options that would make sense for the Eagles right now. I would assume it would be between Justin Fields and I guess Trey Lance. It looks like Zach Wilson was taken off the board, so that can't really be an option.
So replace one North Dakota State player with another.
Maybe they get better as they come in later. So maybe Trey Lance is just a better version of Wentz. Maybe not. I don't know.
Even though I wonder if Trey Lance is 6, but.
Well, honestly, if Wilson wasn't picked, then I think this would be a little bit more of a difficult situation. I do, if there is a trade up for a quarterback, I do expect it to be at the number 3 spot with the Dolphins. Now, in the Dolphins could potentially trade for a quarterback or pick a quarterback as well. That's never off the board. But in this scenario, if they're just trying to collect more draft picks, this would be a great option as well because they gain 2 additional first-round picks, and they still pick in the top 10 or top 6, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess for me, based off of how the board is, Justin Fields would make the most sense. I guess you could go tackle, but that would, you don't normally trade up for a tackle. So, how are you feeling about the pick?
I like Justin Fields. He seems like he's in the mold of the type of player that the Eagles have been drafting at quarterback. Big, strong guy, elite athleticism at the quarterback position. I have a cartoon of Justin Fields drawn, ready to go, so I like the pick.
No, it makes sense because in this scenario, if the Eagles were to trade up, you would definitely want to get in front of the Falcons. I feel like if Justin Fields is there at number 4, I just don't see where the Falcons pass up on him. So to me, this makes a lot of sense. So let's go ahead and pick him. Oh. I guess we got to pick for the Dolphins.
I think this works out for him because if you were going to pick for the Dolphins at 3, I think you would have picked one of the top wide receivers, right?
Yeah.
So now you got all the top receivers. You got Jamar, Jalen, Devonta, and then you have Kyle Pitts. So
this is where it's confusing for me because it's like it seemed like Devonta Smith coming out of or just finishing this year, he would be the number 1 prospect, right? But for some reason, Jalen Waddle, even on PFN and PFF, they have him rated higher than Devonta Smith. And of course, my pick would be Jamar Chase. I still think he's the best receiver coming out this year.
Then pick him.
You're
the GM.
Yeah, but then again, I know this is really weird, but like the fact that Tua played with Waddle and Smith, that would also kind of make sense. So I guess if if you're going for like consistency in I guess best available prospect, then Waddle would make a lot of sense. But I guess if you're just going off the board, I can see Jamar Chase. But who knows? Maybe they can pick 2 wide receivers in the first round. Let's see. We'll go with Jamar Chase, or at least I'll go with Jamar Chase. That's kind of how I feel. I think he's still the best receiver in the class, even though he didn't play. Just see how that works out. There's Trey Lance. There goes Devontae Smith. Bucks. Who do they want? Okay.
What are the needs now? Well, there's another receiver, Kadarius Toney, but that's probably not who you're thinking.
Najee Harris.
I like a back for them.
Okay. Then wide receiver, offensive tackle, running back, edge, and safety.
Well, if that's the case, then I would lean towards getting the running back, because you get the best running back. You know, maybe you go Najee Harris, maybe you go Travis Etienne, and then maybe pick up the best tackle available in 3 picks.
I like Najee Harris. I think that makes sense to me, because
Or
really,
you go Barmore, who's like considered like the only first round type prospect at defensive tackle. Is defensive tackle a team need for the Dolphins?
I don't think it was. Well, I guess edge. Well,
edge rusher. So not really.
I think, yeah, it would either be between the offensive tackle or running back.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the list, you see 3 or 4 offensive tackles kind of clustered together. You only have 2 teams picking in between your next pick. So it's if you're in love with one of these tackles, then you go with them. If not, you pick the running back you want the most.
No, I agree. I say we go Najee Harris. See how it plays out. Ooh.
The
Bengals want to get back in the first round.
No, we're not going to let the Bengals trade all their picks.
Yeah, no, I think in general, if you're getting first round picks, it's hard to trade them away unless you're trading for a quarterback. So I really see the Dolphins keeping their picks. Yeah, see, they still have it looks like Elijah Vera Tucker or Aziz Ujulari. And you got Samuel Asmi.
Yeah, I like the idea of going for the tackle. I mean, to me, if I were running the Dolphins,
from USC or
I've heard more about the guy from USC. I mean, I guess both of those guys should be 5-star type guys. You have Leatherwood there as well, so you got guys from elite programs, so they're going to grade out well, like physically. But I've heard a lot of good things about Tucker, so that would be where I'd lean. But I think for the sake of the discussion, any of the offensive tackles makes sense at this position. You kind of give your quarterback a chance to prove himself. So you get the receiver, you get the back, you get the tackle, and then you see if you get a breakout season next year.
I mean, you're pretty much giving Tua no excuse to, you know what I mean? So it's like
right, and then you have the 2 first-round picks next year. So if Tua doesn't perform, then you should be in position to find his replacement. Okay, full results.
All right, let's see. Oops. We base off of this, as far as trades, so the Colts, they would have Wentz. And then the Eagles got Justin Fields, which, in my opinion, is somewhat of a win for them.
Right.
Assuming, and then, well, kind of a win because they get their quarterback, but then they have to trade up or trade some of their first round picks that they acquired. But in terms of the Dolphins, I think it also makes a lot of sense because they get to trade down. They didn't lose their potential number one receiver prospect because they had the top 3 to choose from. And not only that, they added another playmaker in terms of the running back and Najee Harris, and then turning up the line with another offensive tackle. But I think overall, from an offensive perspective, that's a pretty solid draft. And I was thinking maybe even with the last pick, they could have went defensive to kind of balance things out. But I mean, I don't think it's unusual for teams to go heavy offense in the first round, especially if that's what your need is. So,
well, yeah, I mean, to me, if I were the Dolphins, I would lean to offense purely because I want to figure out if Tua is the guy, and you want to surround them with talent. That way, then right? If he's not going to be the guy to take you to the Super Bowl, then you want to find out sooner rather than later.
Mm-hmm. And then just kind of looking at the other draft, I actually like this pick for the Steelers because they've been needing a running back. Whoops. Looks like the Browns got a tight end. Nothing out of the, I guess, ordinary, but yeah, I would say that would be a pretty solid draft scenario. Assuming that the Colts really want wins, which I'm sure there's some interest in there. But I think the scenario, every team kind of gets something what they're looking for. And in my opinion, the Dolphins would probably get the most out of this.
Yeah. No, I mean, obviously, I think this is a big win for the Dolphins. I mean, maybe it's a little unrealistic, but even if, say, the Eagles didn't trade, you see that they could probably do something similar as well. At that 6th spot, you could get a top-flight receiver. Maybe if you paired that receiver up with Jalen Hurts, you get a really good evaluation. Maybe, instead of trading both picks and drafting Justin Fields, maybe you keep Jalen Hurts and then you see if you can get the receiver to see what you have at quarterback.
See, this almost scares me here because I'm not sure if they would really go for an offensive tackle, but I have a feeling there could be a potential where, cause I feel like I said, if Justin Fields there at number 4, I see the Falcons taking him. I guess Zach Wilson or Justin Fields. If somehow they make it to number 4, I could see the Falcons taking them. So I feel like number 3 is where well, it would be the Eagles or possibly even the Lions. Maybe not so much the Lions. I think they're kind of committed to. I think they kind of have to be a little bit committed to Goff with the contract.
Yeah, cap wise, and I don't think that he can be cut. So,
but realistically,
everybody's hating on Goff. I mean, I think I said this when we did the Lions mock draft. I mean, Goff seems like middle of the road NFL quarterback. I mean, that's what he's shown thus far.
Right.
Maybe he's better. I mean, why wouldn't you give that a couple years to see what you can get out of it? Especially if you're the Lions, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're in a rebuild. You don't know that you'd want to double up at quarterback, especially with Trey Lance.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's kind of the biggest wild card in the draft.
But yeah, I could definitely see 6, 8, or 9. So that would be Eagles, Panthers, or maybe even the Broncos trying to trade with Miami with the Dolphins to jump the Falcons some. But there's still so much I get, or so many trades that could happen before the draft that could change the scenarios. But as of right now, I feel like this is somewhat of a realistic or a pretty realistic draft scenario, especially if a team is really wanting to trade up to get that quarterback.
Yeah.
Or who knows? Maybe the Dolphins will sit tight, and I think if they sit tight and they're okay with that pick, I really think they're going to take the tackle. I don't.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, like nowadays tackles are very, very valuable. I mean, I think
they traded their tackle for to get that pick plus some other stuff. So they're ahead in that trade, assuming that the tackle is as good as everybody thinks he's going to be.
Yeah, and I feel like the Chiefs kind of showed that if you don't, I mean, you could have all the weapons in the world, but if you don't really have adequate protection, it doesn't do anything. So I think offensive tackle is a very important key to a lot of team success. But yeah. I also see them trading down as well, because the last couple of years they've acquired so many draft picks. They've done a really good job of it, and it kind of shows why they're able to kind of have a turnaround season like they did this past season. So I don't know. I feel like between the Dolphins and Bengals, I feel like one of those two teams will trade down. But all the other teams that actually need quarterbacks, I think they're either going to try to stay up or stay put, or trade up to stay where they're at. Specifically the Falcons. I think the Falcons have the greatest chance of getting jumped. I think this is pretty much a lock that 1 and 2 is going to be a quarterback. Because if the Jets, realistically, I think the Jets have enough capital to actually get Watson for it to make sense.
Yeah.
And then it would make sense for Houston as well, because they would have the number 2 pick. I think Zach Wilson would make a lot of sense for them as well. So really, so many scenarios that could happen, but I think it'll make more sense probably closer to April once, or maybe in March when some of the trades have actually happened.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, it's another mock draft. We'll have to keep monitoring the rumors, see if there's another scenario we want to mock through. And until next time, hope you catch us later.